Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Here.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera. Trustee Jose Antonio Jimenez. For present, Mr. Jose Antonio Jimenez is absent.
Do we have anybody that will lead us in the pledge? Is there any students today? No, right? Would you like to lead us in the pledge, Mrs. Anzo?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to item 1D, spotlights. Is there any spotlights that we are aware of?
No.
No? Okay, thank you. We are going to move on to item 1E, adoption of the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Gilpaz Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez? And you take comments or questions? No? Mrs. Anzo, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia.
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo.
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
4-0 with Mr. Jimenez absent.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item 2, public comment concerning items on the open session agenda and/or non-agenda items. Guidelines. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There is no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Item 2A, individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda items and/or other items may do so at this time. Starting time is 5:33. Are there any?
No, I don't have any, no.
No? Okay. All right, we are going to also end public comment at 5:33. Item 2B, association comments. Do we have a representative from ATA tonight?
Evening. My name is Amy Edwards. I don't have any comment from ATA, but I just want to say that I know that right now everybody is enjoying their summer break, and I hope that you guys are as well. Thanks.
Thank you. How about comments from CSEA? No reps from CSEA? How about the substitute union or the unions? Yeah, substitute unions. Nope. Teachers. Okay. Item 3, presentations. 3A, presentation 225, results on local indicators, state dashboard, Deputy Superintendent Monica Anzo.
Good evening, President Garcia, Board of Trustees, Committee and Cabinet. I am Monica Anzo, Deputy Superintendent, and tonight I will be presenting on the local indicators. And as Mr. Clemente is bringing up the presentation, I'll just give a brief overview. This is a requirement from the state. We have to present on our local indicators. The LCFF has certain requirements when they have 8 priorities. So they collect some of the data through state issued assessments. So SBAC, LPAC, they collect that data. And so that meets some of our priorities we have presented to you. Last time we met, we did through our LCAP. We also did some through our dashboard. Today's what the presentation is what they usually don't collect data on, but they want information on. So that's why they're local indicators, and they provide a state-approved tool so that we can self-assess on this information. Okay, so that's just a brief overview of what it is. You do it? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clemente. Okay, the next slide, please. And this is the background that I just explained. So we'll go on to the next slide. So the first priority that we are presenting information on is appropriately assigned teachers, access to curriculum aligned instructional materials, and safe and clean and functional school facilities. So we're presenting it in a percentage. So if you look at our misassignments of teachers of English learners, total misassignments in vacant teacher positions, 0%. Percentage of students without access to their own copies of standards aligned instructional materials for the use at school and at home, it's also a 0%. And then a number of identified instances where facilities do not meet the good repair standard, including deficiencies and extreme deficiencies, is also a 0%. So this information is gathered through Williams inspections that happen annually, and then quarterly if we have any Williams complaints, and it's also from our SARC. So our SARC is our School Accountability Report Card. The second priority is the self-reflection tool for the implementation of state academic standards. So the first part here is looking at our teachers teaching using recently adopted academic standards and curriculum frameworks. There is a rating that the state has provided. 1 is the lowest, exploration and research phase, and then 5, full implementation. So if you can see all our content areas, we have English language arts, English language development, mathematics, next generation science standards, history, and social studies. So we have a 5s. We did score ourselves a 4 in math just because we know that we need to support our teachers and our students in the area of math. Next slide. Okay, this second part is, do we have the aligned curriculum for the content areas? So we do. We have brought them forward for state board adoption. So we are aligned with our state adopted curriculum in all content areas. So we have a 5 in each one. Okay, the next one. This next one is identifying areas where we can improve in delivering instruction aligned to the recently adopted identified below. So we have our PLCs, so through our collaborations, we have walkthroughs that our principals, district staff does in the classrooms. And then teacher feedback. So again, all 5s, yeah, and we are aware that we do need support in math. Okay, the next slide. And then this is this part is engaging and following activities with teachers and school administrators during the prior school year, including summer preceding the summer school year. So this is identifying the needs of our teachers. So we do this through our LCAP. We ask our teachers what they still feel they need, through our LCAP survey. What do they need help with? What do they need support with? Where do they want to receive professional development? So we have a process for that. So we are in full implementation and sustainability. The next one. So this is priority 3, family engagement. This one is building relationships. So how is the district building current relationships and in progress, and how do we identify the areas of improvement? So for this, we also have our parent survey that we do for LCAP. And then in addition to that, we've ended the year now with a full team. Hopefully tonight we find our 12th community school coordinator, but we have a full team of community school coordinators and in the process of having a full team of parent ed specialists that will be supporting our sites with this area. Okay, the next one. Building partnerships for student outcomes. Again, for us, we know that our parents want to build a stronger relationship with us. So this is why we have the 4, and making sure our teachers are also find every opportunity to, how do they build relationships in addition to their parent-teacher conferences? What other activities are we having at schools? What are the principals doing in order to engage our parents? Okay. The next one. So seeking input for decision-making. This one, we have our process that, again, our LCAP is our biggest input process that we have. So we ensure that our parents have surveys, that we have our community meetings to give input into for the LCAP. We have them at sites, we have them at the district level. That's one setting. We also have them through DLAC and DAC. Our sites have their school site councils, and then we are also in the process. One of the requirements for our community schools is for our community schools to have a community school council or advisory team. So our coordinators are in the process of creating that as well. Priority 6 is school climate. To this one, we are using our surveys. We have specific questions for our parents and on how they feel their school climate is. So these are some samples. The very first one is 93% of our parents reported they are aware a counselor is available to support if needed. Second one is 94% of our parents reported that they feel welcome to participate in their child's instruction. And then 92% of our teachers reported they are aware of how to support social emotional needs. The next one. And then priority 7 is access to a broad course of study. Okay, next slide. So this again, we use what our students are enrolled in each class. We have 100% of our students who are enrolled and instructed in the program chosen by parents. So English only, structured English only, one-way, dual immersion, and newcomers. Those are the programs, instructional programs that we have in Alisal. And then 100% of our students had access to instructional time. And then all schools provided the intervention to students to address the needs determined by staff during student study teams, COST, which is a coordination of support team meetings, and our IEP 504 planning meetings. And that's it. That's the local priorities that we'll be reporting to the state. Any questions?
Mr. Ocampo, we'll start off with you. Okay, Ms. Silvas Varela.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that information, Mrs. Anzo. Under priority 1, it talks about misassignments by teachers.
Yes.
Could you elaborate a little bit more what a misassignment is?
So we might have a teacher that doesn't have the right credential to teach the program, and that could be a misassignment.
So we didn't have any unqualified teachers last year. Is that just for ELs or just across?
Across the district.
So we didn't have teachers that had to leave at the middle of the year because they didn't have their credential? Anything like that? I recall something like that.
So when they're in the classroom, if they have the proper credential to be in the classroom up to a certain point, then we had left them in the classroom without a credential, then that would have been a misassignment.
And we didn't have any,
Misassignments, no.
nor in SPED.
And SPED, so again, if
This
they,
is not SPED.
no, this includes SPED.
Okay.
So if we have a teacher, and I know Mr. Lopez is here, he's a credentialed expert. So if we have a teacher, I'm on a special permit. So I have a credential and I'm on a special permit. I'm still qualified under that credential to teach in the class. Let's say that it expires in the middle of the school year. If the district leaves me there without even that permit, then it's a misassignment because now I don't have permission or license to teach.
Okay, so the district takes care of those who come to a certain point and then no longer qualify for them to go qualify, because I know we had some come back.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought it meant we didn't have any like that.
No.
I recall
And,
some.
and we have a team of experts in HR that are on our, sorry to say that word, but like after our teachers are, you're missing this assignment, we make sure you are, and they're very supportive to where they can be supportive in finding the right classes, making sure they have the right credential, reminding them that it's going to expire. We need to support you. How do we support you? So we do what we can to support our teachers so that they get the proper credential.
Thank you. So then in looking at this measuring tool, because that's what this is, right?
Yes,
But we're measuring ourselves, right?
yes.
But who is doing that? Who is giving us almost 5s and everything? I mean, this is great. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I don't want to be skeptical about it, but I think there was only a couple of instances where we were 4. So is that what usually happens? I mean, you grade we're grading ourselves and we're giving ourselves the greatest. Is it because we're great, or who was the team that did this checking? I'm not sure.
So yes, we're great.
Pardon me?
Yes, we're great.
Oh, okay, okay, good.
No, I can't say we're not.
Mhm.
No, so it is because they are local indicators. The state has provided the tool for us to use it, right? And so they have different, for example, we were talking about the credentials. If there's a complaint, Williams is the state um, initiative in where if there are complaints, if we don't have standard adopted material in the classroom, whoever's in that classroom can file a complaint, a Williams complaint.
Mhm.
That would have to come to the board and saying, we don't have the proper curriculum in the classroom. And you would see that. So we get quarterly reports that we have to report if there's any kind of concern reported, and any complaint, any Williams complaint, and we bring it to the board. So that's just an example of how we can look at misassignments, we can look at facilities, because even with facilities, there's an inspection that we do every year at the beginning of the school year that has to be reported to MCOE, and they report it to the state. Then we have quarterly reports. So that addresses the misassignments, that addresses the facilities and curriculum. Our curriculum, we know, is standards-based. We are using standards, so there's another priority there that talks about, are we using the standards and the frameworks that are state adopted? So yes, we are. So we know that that's happening. That's verified by the principals. It's verified even by our local assessments, our learning walks. So those are just examples of
The verification
The
method, that we
verification.
can't just give ourselves straight fives, because it goes, and that was like my next question. So all of this information then is incorporated to the dashboard,
yes.
right? So kind of, how does that work? It just, you report to the
So we
state?
reported, and they have several questions and they're asking a narrative. So Ms. Beal is the one that goes in and she completes the narratives based on the evidence that we have.
Okay, thank you. And then my last question, on family engagement, priority 3, building relationships. Why aren't we fives there?
And that's because we listen to our parents, and sometimes there's instances where our parents feel our relationships are not that strong, right? And so we want our parents to be satisfied. And if we look, even though they're at 90, if we look at, and I would have to bring the survey and maybe some samples of it or send it, the LCAP survey, we want to make sure we're in the high 90s. We want to make sure our parents are satisfied with the relationship that we have. A 4 is not bad, it's still full implementation,
Right.
but we want them to feel that they are a voice, and sometimes they don't feel that.
Mhm. And so would you say that that's something that it's not a big area for improvement? Because I know we have a lot of parents that come and are very happy as what's going on in the district. And I would say most of our parents, with my experience anyways. So it's just something that, it'd be nice to see five
Yes.
there maybe next year. So this is done once a year, the
Yes,
LCFS.
yes, and
And so connected to the LCAP, and the parents are very involved in the LCAP, which is,
we should see the change with having our community school coordinators. You know, parent needs to feel the trust. They need to feel they know somebody and they trust them. Having a community school coordinator or parent liaison, that was a huge piece that was missing at our schools. Our principals are really, they're super busy with everything else we're asking them to do. So yes, they lead the parent engagement, but then they have a partner, and that partner is embracing this. If maybe we can bring them and they can do a presentation, or you can meet all of them. We have maybe open houses while we come back from the school to the school year, and they have open houses at their community rooms. But for example, they're here working this summer. Each of our community rooms are open for our parents to come in during the school year. So it's not just the family resource centers, but now also our community rooms.
thank you. Thank you for that information. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Ms. Perez? No? Okay, well, I did also, I think, actually, Mrs. Gilpas Barrera kind of touched a little bit about, I was just going to comment about family engagement piece. Yeah, we've heard a lot sometimes from parents, yeah. And I think one of the things that I would like to see, and I don't know if my fellow board members agree or not, but to have a I think at one point we understood that ELAC was being folded into the school site council. And I understand that sometimes parents aren't able to come forward and want to volunteer to be the president, want to volunteer to be the secretary, want to volunteer. But I mean, that ELAC, because there's so many English learners in our campuses, it's like, we should totally have a separate ELAC and a school site council, not folded in. I don't see how that could be like the custom, you know? And so, I mean, I would like to see an ELAC in every single school, because you're supposed to have one after 20 kids, right? At 28 English learners, and you form an ELAC. I understand too that you can legally fold it into the school site council if they vote on it, but I mean, I feel like, wow, that's a missed opportunity for us to engage our English learner parents. And so hopefully maybe this next year, that'll be some kind of a priority for us. But yeah, fours are great. So, and this is probably an area of improvement for all of us. So thank you for this wonderful presentation you put together for us tonight. Thank you. Okay, moving along. We are now on item 4, board member or superintendent reports. Ms. Gilbas Barrera, or?
Sure, just briefly, I wanted to welcome Dr. Clara Fernandez, who's in the audience, Mrs. Anzo, who's here with us, our new attorney, who's here with us. Girl power. We have some really smart male power in the house too, with Mr. Ocampo, Mr. Jimenez, and Mr. Abbasi. But definitely a great, I mean, I feel good about the direction that the district is taking with all the smarts that we have in the room. So thank you for joining us, and we're going to get some good HR people too. And so I think that we're going far. LSL strong. Thank you. That's it.
Ms. Perez, anything? Mr. Campo?
Yeah, just wanted to say that on the 18th of June, sorry, my nose itches. I attended a press conference organized by Monterey County Supervisor Luis Alejo. The conference was to show solidarity for our immigrant families in a Tri-County area, Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz County. It was really well attended. Your husband was there, Mr. Barrero was also there. But the press conference was attended by about 30 plus leaders from the Tri-County area. We had union leaders, school administrators, we had hospital administrators, and the three sheriffs from the Tri-County area were also present. And they all spoke about the need to help our immigrant families here in Monterey County, given the situation that we're in right now with ICE being kind of on steroids, I guess. You know, our immigrant families are not faring well, obviously, as we all know, because of that. Now, Supervisor Chris Lopez talked about the need to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which has been discussed over and over, and hopefully someday that will happen. You know, we can only hope. The three sheriffs reinforced that the idea that the sheriffs and the police, our local police, do not enforce immigration laws. In other words, they don't help ICE. Instead, they remain focused on public safety. I think one of the nicest kind of presentations was given by our county superintendent of schools, which is Denise Gus. And I'm going to read what she said. So if you'll bear with me, this is a direct quote. This is what Denise said. She said, I am a strong believer that schools must always remain safe places of safety and not fear. The presence of immigration and customs enforcement officers near campuses sends shockwaves of anxiety through families and districts from what should be every child's right, and that is to learn, to grow, and to thrive in peace. I join colleagues in Los Angeles and beyond on calling ICE to immediately end these intimidation tactics that cause harm to honest, hardworking members of our communities. So this was what our superintendent of schools, her statement at the conference. I think it was very well said. I think it was an excellent statement. So with this in mind, I would like to direct our staff to begin exploring how we can serve our undocumented students and parents, how we can serve them better. And some suggestions that I came up with could be that one possibility the board could adopt and pass a resolution supporting our immigrant parents and students. We can put on our website a list of constitutional rights for immigrants when they are being questioned by ICE, and such a list is available on the website of the Monterey County, on the County of Monterey, the supervisor's webpage. If you click on County of Monterey, Know Your Rights, you'll find that there's a list there of the constitutional rights for immigrants when they're being questioned by ICE. We could also, and this is something I think that Alisal High School did not too long ago. They actually had about 800 people that attended a workshop that they gave at Alisal, and the workshop was about the rights of immigrants, and I believe it was organized through the County of Monterey and also through the Monterey College of Law. So we could reach out to the Monterey County of Law to present workshops to our undocumented parents on their rights when they're being questioned by ICE agents. We could also begin to offer targeted social emotional support to our undocumented students and parents. You know, I think if we look at the sheer number of our undocumented people in the area, the Public Policy Institute of California estimates that 62,000 undocumented workers live in Monterey and San Benito County. So I'm sure we have our share of undocumented parents, you know, in our district. And I have not heard anything about what's happening, but I'm sure that they're going through a hard time. You know, I imagine, I've been told that that some parents are not going to work out of fear. There's a possibility the students are not attending school because of fear of deportation. So I think it's a real issue. I think we should join the County of Monterey, which has organized, the supervisors have organized an ad hoc committee on immigration rights. We should join the high school district, which is doing workshops to inform immigrants of their rights. You know, I think that we need to get involved, and we should not put our heads in the sand, but we should, you know, acknowledge that this is a problem, that it's happening, and we should do whatever we can to support our immigrant parents. So I thought the press conference was excellent, and really enjoyed being there. So I hope that we can take some action in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Ansel, is there anything that you'd like to report?
Yes, I actually was going to join Ms. Gilpas in welcoming Dr. Clara Fernandez, our new deputy. So like, want to stand, Dr. Fernandez, so people know who you are. So this is Dr. Clara Fernandez, and she will be joining us July 1st. So welcome again, and thank you. And today, actually, I was interviewed by KSBW on exactly what are we doing to support our immigrant families, and how are we supporting them, making sure that they feel safe, making sure that we have mental health support. So one of the things I shared with them, and I can share with the board, create a timeline of what we have done, and then what we will continue to do is I let them know that as soon as the new administration took place, our social workers mobilized in creating or actually having a Know Your Rights presentation for our families at Barden, which was really well attended back in January. We had our Lozano Smith come and do a presentation for all our leaders in knowing what to do in case we had somebody at ICE come to one of our schools. What do we do, and what were the rights of our parents. We had a lot of the red cards passed out. So again, sharing that information, our team of community school coordinators, social workers, counselors, parent ed specialists, our FACE director, Mr. Julio Castro, our PPS director, Ms. Diana Garcia, all attended a training to create safe plans for families. So they have the packets and trained to do that and are working with families if they need a plan. So we have a lot of things in motion. Maybe checking on our website to see if just here are some resources, and checking our community school page, because they're the ones that are really taking it on to support our families. But I think all of us are making sure that we want to make sure our families know that we do not discriminate. Children are entitled to a free education regardless of their immigration status. So we can put something together and share it with all the board members. Thank you.
Thank you. And I wasn't here the last two board meetings, but so I want to formally congratulate Mr. Koenig on his retirement and Mr. Duran on his retirement. And of course, we welcome Ms. Anzo, our new superintendent. Okay, we're moving on to item 4. Oh, sorry, item 5, consent agenda. So contracts, MOUs, agreements, grants, proposals, conferences, workshops, and field trips. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yeah, so move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second?
Second?
Comments or questions? Ms. Anzo, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
So motion passes 4-0 with Mr. Jimenez absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 6, business services, action, 6A, action item, resolution 2425-29, interfund borrowing. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Gilbas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Ms. Anso, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with Mr. Jimenez being absent.
Item 6B, action item, resolution 2425-25, year-end budget, the year-end budget transfers. May I get a motion to approve?
So, motion.
Ms. Perez, can I get a second?
Second?
Ms. Gilpaz Barrera, comments or questions? Mrs. Zanzo, can you please take a line vote?
President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with Mr. Jimenez absent.
Item 6C, action item, adoption of proposed 2025-2026 budget. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Gilbas Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Mrs. Anzo, can you please take a line vote?
President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with Trustee Jimenez is absent.
Item 6D, action item, resolution 2425-32, support of applications for eligibility determination and funding of facilities projects. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Gilpaz Barrera, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Mrs. Anso, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. Mr. Jimenez is absent.
Item 6E, action item, resolution 2425-30, education protection account. May I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Perez, can I get a second? Ms. Gilbas Barrera, comments or questions? Mrs. Anso, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 and with Mr. Jimenez absent.
Item 7A, action item, adoption of the local control and accountability plan, the LCAP for 2024-27. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second?
Second?
Ms. Gilbas Barrera, any comments or questions?
I have a comment if I could?
Yes.
Not sure. Well, I guess I'm looking at, of course, it's a big document, of course. I guess I spent some time looking at action item. Oh, I'm sorry. First, in reference to goal two of the LCAP, which is the elevation platform. Just want to say that it does seem very promising. Elevation is a digital program that tracks language acquisition, English, and provides teaching status. It appears that some school sites use it more than other school sites, and I know that we will be training additional personnel so that we can hopefully get all of our school sites using the Elevation digital program. So I just wanted to emphasize that I do think it's important to do that additional training, and emphasize that we definitely do need to do it to make sure that those people get trained. The second comment that I wanted to make, again under goal 2 of our LCAP, and this is a suggestion for next academic year 26-27, because I know that every year we revisit the LCAP. Not sure how applicable, but I guess staff will let me know whether it's something that can happen or not happen. But I was thinking that it would be great to consider adding a new metric or action, which would be to increase our enrollment in bilingual education by some agreed upon
I'm sorry,
percentage.
I need to call a point of order or I'm confused. Are we already on 7A?
We're on A, the LCAP.
Oh, we
7A,
are.
yes.
That's
Yeah.
me. I fell asleep for a minute.
7A.
I apologize, Mr. Ocampo. Thank you.
By an agreed upon percentage, and currently our enrollment in bilingual education is 39.2%, which is I think is pretty good. It's almost 40% of our students are in bilingual education classes. So I'm not saying that we are in any way derelict in our duties, but I'm saying that I think we can improve it. I think somewhat. The justification would be that learning 2 languages enhances cognitive development, which we know that it does, and also reinforces pride in Latino culture. So those would be the recommendations. And I don't know if this act of increasing our enrollment, if it would qualify as a metric within that goal. But I throw that out to the staff for their expert consideration and maybe some feedback, whether that's something that we might be able to do. And I know there's a lot of problems with increasing our enrollment in bilingual education, but if we can get it up to 45%, 50%, I think that would be good. And of course, the cognitive development takes place only if it's really high quality bilingual education. And that's something that has to be looked at too, I think. I'm not saying that we don't have a good quality bilingual education program, but I'm saying that there are degrees of quality in bilingual education. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, Mrs. Anso, can you please call for the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera. A motion passes 4-0 with Mr. Jimenez absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8, Human Resources. 8A, action item, request for new position, custodian maintenance. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Perez, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Guilbas Barrera, and comments or questions? Mrs. Guilbas Barrera?
Yes, thank you. Well, there's two positions here. 8 and B are also both talking about a custodian. I guess the difference with the first one on A, it's custodian slash maintenance. So I was trying to look through the agenda, but wasn't sure it'd be on page 200 or 500. So I really didn't get to read the backup information because I was having a hard time with it because it's our first time, but I'll be graceful and we'll learn together. I want to know what the difference is between both those positions, because Buckhorn's not a real big place, you know, and I wanted to know how many custodians our schools have compared to what it looks like here. If both of these are approved, there's going to be 2 custodians, and the need is probably there. I just wanted a little bit more information on that.
So the first custodian, the custodian maintenance, is a full-time position. The second position, well, we're not there yet, but.
Okay.
um,
Well, I mean, I'm asking
yeah,
for the
for the-
difference.
So
Uh-huh.
the difference is
Mhm.
that this one's a full-time position, and they'll be coming in, our day custodians come in at 6:30 to make sure everything's set up and ready. Students will be eating in the classrooms. We don't have a separate cafeteria, so they're 3-year-olds. So there's a lot of more activity of little people happening at the site. And because they are coming in early to make sure everything's set up and help during the day, they can't close the center. So the center, the night custodian would clean up that's why it's part-time, would clean up the classrooms.
Oh, okay, so that's the difference. And I guess like in our old agenda, which are like, it used to tell us if they were full-time or half-time, and we have to search a little bit more with this new setup, right?
Well, I think we can work on some of the wording.
Okay,
As
thank
we're
you.
all learning.
Right, so I guess I was thinking maybe this person in A was gonna be working for maintenance and the school.
Our day custodians are called custodian maintenance because in addition to the custodial, they also maintain the facility. So they can clean around the weeds, they can paint, they can do other maintenance.
And then the night one,
They're
full
just
is
strict to
clean
the cleaning.
Thank you for the explanation.
Okay, Ms. Anzo, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez,
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with Mr. Jimenez being absent.
Thank you. Item 8B, action item, request for new position, custodian. Can I get a motion to approve this position?
Motion.
Ms. Perez?
Second.
Mr. Ocampo? Comments or questions? No? Mrs. Anzo, can you please see the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes.
Trustee Jose Antonio Jimenez is absent, so motion passes 4-0.
Item 8C, action item, request for new position, paraeducator. Is that a 4? I don't know my Roman numbers. Sorry. Can I get a motion to approve the new position?
So move.
Mr. Campo, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Guilpas Barrera, comments or questions? Mrs. Sanso, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Guilpas Barrera.
Yes. Yes, sorry.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Thank you. Item 9, administrative services. A, consideration and action regarding executive compensation. Monica Anzo, Deputy Superintendent. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second? Okay. So I am going to be reading what is this? The summary of the contract out loud. Here I go. LaSalle Union School District Summary of Financial Terms of Deputy Superintendent Monica Ansel, Second Amendment to the Employment Agreement. This statement should be read in open session. Okay. I'm going to move on down to the bottom. The board is considering a second amendment to the employment agreement for Monica Ansel, who currently serves as a deputy superintendent for the LaSalle USD. This second amendment for the deputy superintendent will commence on July 1st, 2025. A summary of the financial terms are as follows. Retroactive to July 1st, 2024, the district agrees to pay the deputy superintendent an annual base salary of $238,680. Such an amount is equal to a 2% pay increase from the previous $234,000 annual salary. 2, the district agrees to pay the deputy superintendent a one-time off-salary retroactive payment for $8,190 in addition to her base salary for the 2024-25 school year. Such payment is equal to 3.5% of the 2024-2025 school year base salary. Any other comments or questions? Ms. Gilbert Barrera?
I just had a comment. I thought, my goodness, when I read A and D, I thought Mrs. Anzo's already getting 2 raises and she hasn't even started. It's not even July. But in reading these and the years that they pertain to, and because of the negotiations and historically, this board gives the same compensation to cabinet and practically everybody, even the board, I think if the board so requests that, it's a really small, it's maybe $10, $15 for the board, but I think that we need to clarify that Mrs. Anzo is not getting something beyond what she deserves because everybody got that in the district. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Can I get a motion? I already got a motion, right? Sorry. Mrs. Anzo, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez,
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9B, consideration and action regarding executive compensation. Rais Avasi, Associate Superintendent. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez? And I will read now the contract. The board is considering a fourth amendment to the employment agreement from Rais Obasi to serve as the Associate Superintendent of the school district. This fourth amendment for the Associate Superintendent will commence on July 1st, 2025. A summary of the financial terms are as follows. 1, the Associate Superintendent of Business Services will be placed on the revised cabinet salary schedule as adopted by the board on June 4th, 2025. Mr. Obasi's placement will be retroactive to July 1st, 2024, and he will receive the difference for the 2024-25 school year plus a one-time retroactive bonus payment of $7,776, which is an amount equivalent to 3.5% of the Associate Superintendent's 2024-25 school year salary. And in total, the Associate Superintendent of Businesses shall receive $12,219 prorated from July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, less all applicable deductions. Number 2, effective July 1st, 2025, the Associate Superintendent of Business Services shall be placed on step 5 of the revised Associate Superintendent Classified Cabinet Salary Schedule, which will result in a new base salary of $231,139 for the total for the 2025-26 school year. Item 3, the Associate Superintendent of Business Services will receive a one-time 2.5% one-time off-salary schedule payment, which equates to $5,778. All other terms and conditions of the integrated agreement remain the same. Comments or questions? No. Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 absent.
Item 9C, action item 2025 California School Boards Association Annual Education Conference in Sacramento, December 3rd through the 5th, 2025. Attendance of 5 board members, superintendent and administrative assistant, 3. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Bettis, a second. Ms. Quintas Pereira, comments or questions? Mrs. Anzo, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez,
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpez Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 9D, action item, adopt new board policies, administrative regulations, exhibit series 5,000, student included. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Ms. Perez, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Quintas Pereira, comments or questions? No? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Gilpez Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 9E, consideration and possible action regarding executive compensation, Monica Ansel, Superintendent. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Ms. Quintas Pereira, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez, comments or questions? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take the line vote?
Ye-
Oh, before that?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Before I do that, I will go ahead and read out loud the following. The board is considering a First Amendment to the employment agreement for Monica Anzo to serve as the superintendent of the school district. This First Amendment for the superintendent will commence on July 1st, 2025. A summary of the financial terms are as follows. The superintendent shall receive a one-time off-salary payment of $6,707, which is an amount equal to 2.5% of the superintendent's 2025-2026 salary amount. 2, the district shall pay the superintendent an annual base salary of $268,260. Such an amount is equal to a 2% pay increase from the $263,000 annual salary. Now, is there any comments or questions? No? Mrs. Ansel, can you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpez Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Thank you. Item 9F, consideration and action regarding employment agreement, First Amendment, Dr. Maria Clara Fernandez, Deputy Superintendent. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Mr. Ocampo, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Perez? Before I go on and ask for comments and questions, I will be reading out the following. The board is considering a First Amendment to the employment agreement for Dr. Maria Clara Fernandez to serve as the Deputy Superintendent of the school district. This First Amendment for the Deputy Superintendent will commence on July 1st, 2025. A summary of the financial terms are as follows. 1, the Deputy Superintendent will receive a one-time 2.5% bonus calculated based on the 2025-26 annual salary of $208,104, which is a total amount of $5,203. Comments or questions? No? Mrs. Angel, can you please take line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez.
Yes.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpez Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Item 9G, Agreement Coronado Pagano and Associates LLC, Contractor for Human Resources Consulting Services, effective June 26, 2025. Am I taking a vote on that one? Yes, because there's no, okay. All right, can I get a motion?
So
So
moved.
move. Oh.
Second.
Okay, so Mr. Ocampo, and I got a second from Ms. Quintas Barrera. Is this what I'm reading? No, this one's gone. Okay. Comments or questions? No? Mrs. Anzo, would you please take a line vote?
Yes. President Leticia Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President President Roberto Campo,
Yes.
Clerk Beatriz Perez. Yes. Trustee Guadalupe Guilfaz Barrera.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0 with one absent.
Thank you. Item 10, future agenda items. There'll be a presentation on early learning, universal pre-kindergarten coming up. Item 11, future meeting dates. You could read those off, July 16th, August 6th, August 27th, September 17th. Item 12, public comments. 12A, individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda items may do so at this time. Starting time is 6:26.
Is there anybody? No.
Okay. Ending time will be 6:27. We will adjourn to closed session at,
Miss,
oh,
I'm sorry. Yes, and going back to future agenda items, I wanted to talk about two.
Okay,
I mean, you went by that one and I didn't, either I wasn't paying attention or I didn't get to say, but I do want to discuss two if I could, with your permission.
so moved.
Okay.
You have my permission. We will go back to item 10,
Thank you. Thank
under
you.
A.
Thank you,
Yes.
President Garcia.
What would you like?
Well, in talking, in listening to Mr. Ocampo, and before I got to the meeting, both Ms. Sanzo was also mentioning the safety plans for children. I think our public information officer is also very knowledgeable about what's going on with that. And there's some elected Latino officials that I met with yesterday, and they were talking about coming to our district and talking and training our parents. But it so happens that we're already doing that, and a lot of the things that Mr. Ocampo mentioned, we're doing those things that are so important. So either an update through the board, through the superintendent's update, or a board presentation, but I'd like a board presentation so that we could all know, hey, we're already doing that. I
Mhm.
mean, maybe I should have known and should have said it last night to these ladies because they were willing to come, but it looks like we're doing that. So maybe a presentation on the things that are already happening in our district. So if approached by a community member, us board members can say, you know what, we're doing this and this and this. So I would appreciate that. Sooner than later, because it's an important one. And then also, and I'm glad the attorney's here, because I wanted to talk about, so it's a new, we're going to have new people on board, especially the superintendent. At what point, and I've gone through superintendents before, so maybe it's something I should know. Do we get to talk to Mrs. Anzo on, what, like maybe things that I would like? Of course, I cannot give her direction, one person, but what are relationships going to be like? Or what is it? Can we interrupt you during the day? Can we not interrupt you during the day on a phone call? I mean, I'm sure every superintendent has their manner, but how are we going to know those? Do I just call her up and ask her, what's it going to be like between you and I? Or is it something that the board is going to be consistent with? And I think this board is really good and smart about that. I don't think we ever were overbearing with Mr. Koenig, but yet sometimes things came up where you do want to make a call because something important happened. So I'm asking the attorney, with the board president's permission, in what setting can we do that?
But I have that information readily available and I can share it with kind of guidelines and help with how to interact with them.
I would like to request a presentation also on that one, since you have that information. Oh, okay, sorry. Thank you. That was
Okay.
it.
We are still on item 10A. Is there any other member that would like something added to future agenda items or presentations? Yeah. No? Okay. So we're going to move back down to item 12, where I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 6:30. And we'll be taking item B is just a 10-minute break. We'll be in closed session by 6:40. Thank you.
I don't know.
see, but this one didn't have, this, this one right here didn't have, we did a vote, but it didn't have, we put it on here.
You did it, like, they sent stuff on it, because you did it herself without.
Yeah,
But is that our thing or is that the?
Yeah, so I think I highlighted it both
Yeah.
because it was 15, that, that. And then it's also.
Hi.
Good to meet you. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but I'm, yeah.
Congratulations again. Yeah. So you didn't know you.
No.
No, that was kind of thing.
You have a lot of them?
I do, but one in particular, really close to me.
It was really nice. I thought it was really nice. You know,
Was it?
oh, very
So, okay.
close. Oh, very close.
Okay. We are now reconvening to open session. Time reconvened is 7:53. So we're going on to item 14B. What is it? Oh, on a vote of 4-0, the board voted to approve the recommended candidate for community school site coordinator, Flora Gomez, for Creekside Elementary School. On a vote of 4-0, the board voted to approve a settlement agreement related to OAH case number 2025020984. On a vote of 4-0, the board voted to approve a settlement agreement related to OAH case number 2025050137. On a vote of 4-0, the board voted to approve a settlement of claim made by a district employee, case number 1. On a vote of 4-0, the board voted to approve a settlement claim made by a district employee, case number 2. And I am going to adjourn this meeting at 7:54. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you.